Hold on a second here. Boom. Okay, back with the blue lighting now. Welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago, and today we're here to talk about what went down on Friday Night SmackDown. But before we do that, if you guys could do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a stream. I know SmackDown was on Friday, but today's Sunday. Might as well go over right here. Returning to SmackDown as the champion. So after a video recap of what happened on Raw, Nick Aldis welcomes us to SmackDown. He talks about what happened with Gunther and the champions, his subsequent suspension, before welcoming CM Punk to the ring to celebrate as a new champion. He said he missed the crowd before saying anyone is welcome to try to take the title from him because he is a fighting champ. He also said he would give Sami Zayn a rematch if he wanted one. He named a couple guys, Finn Balor, Royce Keys, Damian Priest, Trick Williams, and Gunther, before he was interrupted by the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, who was obviously upset about what happened on Monday when he was attacked and unable to have a scheduled title match against Zayn. They had a respectful exchange for the most part, and it led to Rhodes laying out a challenge for SummerSlam, which Punk immediately accepted. Aldis made it official on the spot. So eventually what's going to happen is we're also going to get something too. There's another match that was also made in this. Is that Sami Zayn will team up with Gunther to take on Punk and Rhodes in a tag team match at Saturday Night Main Event. Now, if this doesn't lead us to a Fatal 4-Way match, I'm going to be pissed, okay? Because this is just, you need to follow up with what Zayn did, right? Because if you remember when 99 came around, guys, I want to talk about this for a minute. Sami Zayn, to me, represents Mick Foley in the 90s, okay? The late 90s, to be exact. 99, to actually be specific. So in 99, Mick Foley won the title and then lost it right back to The Rock. If you guys remember, won the championship, lost to The Rock. So then Austin and fucking Rock could have their match at WrestleMania of that year. Now, when we cut into Foley winning it, that was just a, occurrence. But what happened in the 2000s led us to something else. It led us to a Fatal 4-Way. See, Triple H and Mick Foley were not really on good terms, so they were duking it out in the earliest of 2000s, which then led to Mick Foley and Triple H having two matches at two different pay-per-views, while The Rock had to win the Royal Rumble and, of course, face Big Show. What led to, it should have been a one-on-one match between The Rock and Triple H, led to a Fatal 4-Way match at WrestleMania 2000, if you guys remember, Triple H, The Rock, Mick Foley, and Big Show. And the same thing is playing out right here. Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Sami Zayn, and Gunther in a Fatal 4-Way match for SummerSlam is the way to go. Because Sami Zayn represents the Mick Foley, Gunther represents the Big Show, complaining and whining that he should have a championship match. And of course, you got, the two studded stars, the Triple H and The Rock here, fucking Cody and Punk. So, Punk's solo part of this segment was relatively tamed. He did the same shtick that a babyface would after winning the belt. Rhodes being his first challenger isn't surprising. Their exchange was a little on the uneventful side, so it's going to be interesting to see how WWE fills time with the feud between now and SummerSlam. So, honestly, of course, I would hope that Sami Zayn and Gunther both get into that match somehow. But yeah, there's just, like I've said, I was pissed, and I still am. That doesn't change. So I like that they graded this as C+, because that's all it's gonna fucking say as. But yeah, this is where the WWE is likely to head, into a Fatal 4-Way match that resembles Triple H's match at WrestleMania when he was champion against The Rock, Mick Foley, and Big Show. Here, Punk being up against Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, and Gunther. That would make for a SummerSlam match. All because WWE had to put the title on Sami Zayn. So, we can move on to our first match of the evening. Finn Balor versus Tama Tonga. A good match, exceptional match. Following the attack from Tala and Tama last week, Balor got a chance at some retribution, where he and Tama had a singles match on Friday. Not only did they waste no time getting right into the action, they turned this into a fast-paced fight immediately. You could see their years of experience working together on full display. They had great chemistry and knew how to make each other look good, so they had no problem making this a fun contest. Tala's interference almost gave Tama the win. However, Finn Balor was able to come back and steal the victory. Tama is trying to put his past behind him, but that doesn't appear to be easy as he hoped. It's a grade of B. I like this. I like this so much. Tama Tonga, Finn Balor obviously have chemistry. They've had fought before in Japan. So I was pretty excited to see what Finn Balor could do now in the SmackDown roster, along with Tama and Tala being separated from Solo Sikoa. Moving off from there. But yeah, they're kind of in that swerve and hang kind of way, after WWE got rid of Tongaloa and JC Mateo. Yeah. We move on to a promo into a match. And it looks like we have our SummerSlam 6-man tag team match revealed. So, Jimmy and Jacob were in the ring after the break to call out Solo Sikoa. But it was Royce Keys who showed up instead. He said Big Jim's family business was starting to affect him. Fatu said he is friends with Keys and warned him not to say anything bad about Roman Reigns. Keys said family is about loyalty, not blood. And Fatu has been like a brother to him. Jimmy and Keys ended up agreeing to a match, but Fatu opted to sit this one out. Royce sent Big Jim out of the ring before the match got started during the break. So, so they talked about, so looks like Royce Keys wants to try to save Fatu from this, and wants his own family of loyalty back, Pretty good way of this. I like it. So now we're going to get to the match. Keys is definitely a fresh rival for the bloodline, which is sorely needed after years of the same feuds. But WWE might be telling the story too slowly, especially when it comes to Solo and Keys. The match we got here felt off in some ways. It was a little slow in certain spots, and it felt like Keys and Uso had much chemistry. They had some moves that were mistimed, but it wasn't completely devoid of entertainment. Solo Sikoa showed up as gullible and funny as he is. Before he could even fight Jimmy, while the referee was distracted, before he could even spike Jimmy, Fatu came out to help Jimmy out. So Solo and Fatu brawled at ringside while Jimmy got the win with a spear. It's a little sad that the most exciting part of Uso and Keys was the fight between Solo and Fatu, and then Fatu turning on Keys after it was over, which he did. Graded a C. Gunther found Aldis backstage and told him he wanted a title shot. Aldis said he would take it under consideration. So here's and I love Jimmy's gear nodding to Naomi. So it could mean that her return is prominent and that she could be coming back at the Royal Rumble, which would be nice. Save that for some time. Let her have all the time off that she needs. For this story now featuring Royce Keys, it gives him something to do. So that's a plus. I don't know how involving in the story with him, and Jacob having a past. I don't recall Jacob and Fatu having a past. Maybe in the Indies, maybe New Japan. I don't know much, but this adds layers to it. If you had LA Knight and Jay come out, this would have been top. This would have been a little bit top tier. Felt overbooked, but it would have gave the fans something to look forward to, because now our 6-man tag team match at SummerSlam looks pretty good. Looks like we're going to get Jacob and the Usos versus Royce Keys, Solo Sikoa, and LA Knight, which would be fantastic. It would look nice, to have these guys all teamed up together, But yeah, and it's not Sami Zayn. So it looks like they're going to keep Sami Zayn in the world title picture, which is nice, instead of bringing him down the mid card. But it depends on how WWE is going to follow up. With no Sami Zayn on this show, fucking Jesus Christ. Alexa Bliss versus Jade Cargill. The reason I want to, if you read the, also just to mention, grade to C. If you wanted to know why the title suggests what I wrote in, Alexa Bliss injured, is because of this match. The next matchup saw Alexa Bliss take on Jade Cargill. Charlotte Flair was in the partner's corner, and Meechin and B-Fab were there to support Jade. I also want to bring up one other thing. A little girl, if you guys didn't know, Charlotte Flair had been spending a lot of time with a family of a little girl who's been going through mental health conditions. That little girl named Scarlett has unfortunately passed away, and I want to come up here and say, send my prayer and condolences to the family of Scarlett and to Charlotte Flair. Charlotte has been a big support, for the family. And there is a GoFundMe page. I can't leave it in the link in the description below because I don't have it. But yeah, just show some love in the meantime. Like, don't spread any hate. Don't, just love only allowed. But yeah, I just thought I should mention that. It's sad. It was sad, very sad. And it also explained why Charlotte Flair's gear at SummerSlam looked a little, colorful. So, and if I made fun of it, I apologize. I take it back now, knowing I didn't know until Charlotte, what was it, Survivor Series of last year? Yeah. Or Royal Rumble of last year? I forget. Anyway, we have seen several different matchups featuring these two teams in recent weeks, with Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green also being involved in many of them, so it was starting to feel repetitive. In fact, we just saw the same pairing have a singles match at the end of May. The size difference between them put Bliss in an underdog role, which isn't a problem since she usually ends up being the smallest competitor in the ring, but it does add to the repetitiveness we mentioned, and that's a grading that's going to go down. The first half of this bout was a little sloppy, but the second half was much better because Bliss put up a fight, but Jade won with her finisher. And what followed was pretty disappointing. So what followed after this was that Jade took a steel chair. Flair tried helping out. They didn't mention this, but Flair tried to help out. She got put into this corner right here. If you guys can see my screen, she got put into that corner and held by Michin and BFAB. And Jade Cargill then took a steel chair, put it into Alexa Bliss's arm, and started to pull. And if you guys remember the build up to Great Balls of Fire, right? If you remember, I think it was Great Balls of Fire, where her arm, you guys remember, Alexa Bliss, I believe, is double jointed. So her arm can like start to hang off, like she can like her arm looks like it's almost dead. So she pulled, and you could see how, and it's no surprise. I've seen it before. Everybody's probably seen it before. The first time you've ever seen it, it looks so fucking good. But now it's like, that's an old pony trick. But I'm glad that she pulled it out here and did it for this, because it looks like what we are getting at SummerSlam is with Rhea Ripley out, instead of it being a possible triple threat match, would have been fucking nice. It's going to be a one-on-one for the vacant women's title. It's most likely to be Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill for the women's championship on SmackDown. Hopefully when Rhea Ripley comes back, she reclaims the title. However, we'll have to wait and see. Which brings us to our main segment, which ended the show, I believe. I mean, actually, no, it didn't end the show, but it was the last segment to the end of the show. Carmelo Hayes took on Trick Williams. Hayes had a chance to fight Williams this week, but not for the U.S. title. Melo would have to win to earn that shot. Putting this match in the main event spot was smart because WWE knows it can rely on these two men to put on a great show every time they work together. Even as many times as we've seen them fight, it never feels like too much because they've always found a way to make it feel fresh. The most interesting thing is how the roles have been reversed now. With, back in NXT, Melo was the big dog and Trick was the hype man. These days, it feels like Williams is the big star and Hayes is fighting to keep up, which makes their storyline much more intriguing. Rumors of Baron Corbin returning to WWE were swirling for weeks, but we got the confirmation when he showed up and attacked both men to end the match prematurely. It's never ideal to have an inconclusive ending, but everything up to this point was great. The return of Corbin is going to be met with mixed reactions from the fans, but the way WWE did it definitely gave him some momentum right out of the gates. And I think getting rid of Sheamus to bring back Baron Corbin is going to be a stupid decision. Why? Because check this out. Sheamus, all he needed to win was an Intercontinental Championship match, which WWE decided not to do. Triple H. And you bring back Corbin, who fucking got released for what reason? Because you had nothing for him. Now you have something for him, and you put him on the show, and now he's on SmackDown, and what? Just to release him again in the near future? Yeah, okay. So B+. Also, Lil Yachty gave Trick a special title with white fur on it, which apparently on the WWE store is costing about fucking $700. So yeah, fuck that. Cool design though. I like it. I like the white fur. It looks pretty fucking cool. But yeah, it's just a B plus. So, and we can get to the final segment and this overall showing of SmackDown. The show ended with Aldis telling Gunther he would team with Sami Zayn to fight Rhodes and Punk on Saturday Night Main Event instead of the title match he wanted. This led to the Ring General attacking the General Manager. Friday Night SmackDown probably looked like an average episode on paper, but it ended up being on the disappointment side of things. Almost everything we got this week either felt like a repeat of something we just saw or wasn't interesting enough to keep our attentions. See, the only things that were really good was Balor and Tama and Williams and Hayes. They were able to keep their rivalries going with strong performances and the idea of having a good showing, right? The return of Crobin is the kind of thing that depends on how you personally feel about him. I feel that he's going to probably be released in the near future. And Sheamus is gone. Sheamus departed, so we don't know where Sheamus is going to end up, but what the fuck, and WWE is in a weird spot these days. So the show is rarely bad, but more often than not, it's forgettable. And when you keep doing repetitive things, like this is why you need more writers on SmackDown. You need better writers on SmackDown to tell a fucking story. Like there are good ways of doing shit, but when you repetitively book this match that we've seen before, right? Give us something fresh. Stop putting the same old fucking guys in the same fucking positions. All right? Because what happens when they're done? What happens when Punk retires? What happens when Cody retires? You're going to have to rely on your bigger stars now. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, when they retire, right? When they're done with wrestling, what are you going to do with them now? You need to start building up your future for the younger guys to come in. So yeah, Sami Zayn is your future. But apparently not. Apparently he's just a transitional champion. So for that, the show is graded a C, and I can agree fully with this. No pluses, no minuses. I think the show is average at best. Forgettable, but of course, WWE does need to find a way to stand out more. Not again. More. What did you guys think of SmackDown? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a like, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a stream. The SummerSlam streams have been up, and I will be giving you the predictions on the 30th of July. I'll be giving you the SmackDown summary on that Saturday. I will be giving you the watch-alongs on Saturday and Sunday because I will be on vacation that week. So I cannot wait to give you all of that, and I will see you guys next week, Tuesday. I'll see you guys Tuesday for the Raw review. Peace.